So the intention was to do getting up again, standing up, return to getting upright. The fuck? The other thing I want to work on is making sure you've got the right frame for the right side and how you're going to work on different aspects. So if you're forced on the wrong side. So the reason I mention that is, say, well, jiu-jitsu doesn't work the same on both sides, depending if you're left-handed or right-handed. Is anyone left-handed? Good, no freaks. But yeah, so you've got a weak hand and then a strong hand. Usually when you wrestle with your strong hand forwards, because that's what you're going to be using for your kind of like powerful moves. So, oh, you're poorly. Come on, John. So if I'm doing any sort of takedown, I'm going to lead on my front arm, and that's what I want to be grabbing him with. So not to say you can't do it with your weak arm, but I want to be able to pick up shit with my strong arm. So if I'm doing for single leg, I'm using my strong arm to do it. If I'm going for a double leg, if his other leg's forwards, I'm using my ear, and holding on my hand here to push him as well. Again, not to say it's not impossible, but usually fight strong arm forwards. But also, everything bad that's going to happen to me is going to happen on my front side. So if I expose underneath my arm here, he can now attack me. He can go for single legs, double legs, arm drags, tie-ups, whatever the fuck he wants to do. If I keep that door closed, he's just going to hit a brick fucking wall, and I can peel him off if he gets close. Does that make sense? So as I'm getting up, I want to be aware that that is what I'm going to be using for defense. So for the first drill, you're going to be getting up off the ground, using the elbow frame. So I'm going to be sitting, left arm down. So wherever your weak arm is, that's going to be on the floor. So it's your strong leg doing the block. It's not an open butterfly hook. It's a cross hook sitting in towards his hip here. I'm using the elbow frame to keep distance. And all I'm going to do is your partner's just going to be putting some pressure on you, and you're just going to rise up, closing the door as you stand. Okay? So the elbow frame, I'm hitting exactly in line with my humerus here. That's going to be jabbing him in the neck. So as I stand up, that's then blocking. So I'm here. So as I stand, that allows me to block just in case he wants to come back at my front leg. Make sense? So just do that. Add resistance over time. Like do it low resistance just so you can feel getting up. And then your partner's just going to put some more pressure on you, try and keep you down just so you can get used to rising into space using that elbow frame, blocking on your stand. Make sense? Off you go. Feel it. So added further detail into it just to make sure you're getting up correctly. This elbow frame here, there's a small hole. I want to make sure that as I'm getting up, I'm using good posture. So make sure your back is strong and you're rising through your legs and you're bracing into the ground, because if they're actually fucking coming at you and you're not kind of standing your ground, they're just going to mow you into the floor. So as I'm getting up off the ground here, I want to be able to pull my bottom leg backwards and plant myself, because if he's starting to go at me, I need to, if I've just got I can have this great down block, but if he's just fucking running at me and I've got no brace, then he's just going to mow me down anyway. It's kind of pointless. So make sure as you're coming up, I want you to do the same technique, but focus on posture, focus on having a good strong back, pull your shoulders down your back, make sure you've got good strong arms, ready to just fuck them up, raising through your legs, bracing into the ground. Person who's doing the attacking, what I want you to focus on is also having good posture, because you're going to be using this as well, like wrestling people down. So I don't want to do it with poor posture, because the problem is the benefit of using this elbow frame is that John comes in, if he's got bad posture here, as he comes through, he's putting his head in the hole, so I can just guillotine him. So his single leg's going to be kind of shit anyway. So if he's coming up, like you see here, if he's got a single leg with his head down, I can just go straight into a guillotine. Like it's going to be quite easy just to smoke him at this point. So if you're coming in and you start to do your takedowns, make sure your belly button is on them. So if he puts his belly button on my body in some way, like he's way closer, he's way stronger, and I can't get hold of his head. So make sure if you're coming up, you come up with good posture. So don't use your chest as a reference point, use your belly button, and make sure you're coming in, getting nice and strong, putting your arms close to your body. Again, same thing, posture and your shoulders down your back. So you're not like proud chest, but shoulders back and down, like you're doing a row in the gym or something like that. So add that detail in, making sure that if you need to slow the resistance down, tell your partner to slow the resistance down so you can focus on getting up with posture. Same with them. If you can't get up with posture, slow the shit down, but build in resistance over time. Make sense? Off you go. Same drill, but with posture. Cool. So adding in the next part then is you've got two options. So your partner's going to put a bit more resistance on you now. So as you stand up, I want to focus on where you want to end up, like that you can attack back and do something. So the benefit of using this elbow hook is it's a half pummel. So if I was pummeling with John, I want to get into his armpits. So if he's got his arm up here, I want to be able to get in, and then I can attack back. If he's got a clean unhook on me, then this is a problem for me. He can start attacking me, he can go around my body, etc., slip my back. But if I have this frame and he's got his arm open, I can pummel in, and I can do something to him. I can go on the back of him, etc., etc. So that's an option. So if I'm squaring up to him, I'm looking for getting my first pummel in, get my first underhook, and then attacking from there, but also be able to kill what he does. Because even if he attaches onto my leg, and I have this, I can peel, go underneath his arm, and then I've got my underhook. That's the intention of having that down block. So I get my underhook on him. I've got something closed. The problem might be though, is if I have this hook as I'm getting up, he might circle around my back here, which is going to be a problem. And so just keep that in mind, that if you do end up having them circle a little bit, don't allow them to get complete 3D control over you. So hand fight them. So you can stand up and slip them around the back. So you're going to have to focus on a couple of things here. And please, with your partner, keep the resistance low and only build it over time, because otherwise they're just going to be fucking mind blown. So either square up to them and get that underhook. If they're circling around your back, you may have to control them so they don't get anything. So hand fight them. Or whoever's sitting behind the other person's like hip will normally win that exchange as well. So as I'm coming up here, if I can move myself and get my leg behind his, he now can't circle me. Does that make sense? So I now have an opportunity to go in on him. So as you're standing up, you can find your leg behind theirs. You have opportunity to attack as well. So you're using that, essentially that first block here to keep them away. And as you come up, leg can go around the back, and then you can attack them. But again, keep low resistance and build it over about 5-10 minutes, just as with your partner. So you're not just doing the same shit. It seems more realistic. If you're just fucking your partner into the floor, like person who's in John's circumstance, tone it down. Give them enough that they're learning, but you're not fucking killing them, okay? But test them, make them have to work. If you're feeling too much under stress, like in my position, just say like, just chill it a little bit so I can keep working, all right? But you're trying to get up into a dominant position that you can attack back, either by squaring up, hand fighting them to strip the grip, or getting behind them so you can then fire something directly back at them. Off you go. So now I want to so we've looked at doing it orthodox, like with your good hand up front, and that obviously allows you to brace, frame, etc., etc. Now I want to switch it and do good arm down and see what your options are. It may be a case as you come up, you find a way of switching your stance to try and bring your good arm back into the game. But I want to see what you do, because that's, if you end up having to play any sort of normal guard, like in jiu-jitsu, everything seems to happen on this side of things, like half guard and all kinds of styles of passing, which doesn't lend itself to getting up and wrestling. Like if I want to wrestle, I usually go this side so I can come up and go for people. If I'm trying to wrestle up on this side, I'm pushing off my bad leg and attacking with my bad arm. So it just doesn't feel as natural, doesn't feel as powerful. So you're going to need to figure out how you're going to get out. Are you going to be able to frame, long frame, short frame? If they're on you, have you got enough strength to be able to push them away? Are you going to pull your bottom leg out? Are you going to swing through and just straighten yourself up? Are you going to have to find a way of maybe switching stance if they're attacking? Like, are you going to find a way of framing there, coming in, and then getting up? Like, that's always an opportunity to switch your guard stance. But play with it. So your partner's just going to try and essentially try and pass your guard and keep you down. Again, adjust your resistance accordingly. And you're going to try and get up off your start on your bad side and find what suits you best and getting up. So this is quite open now to how you're going to interpret it. You've got the ideas that you need. You know you need to defend your front leg. You know you need to try and get an underhook or strip their grips or get behind them in some way. How are you going to get up safely whilst they're putting fucking resistance on you and you're on your bad side? But we'll leave that up to you, how you figure it out. Off you go. So issues, and again, I want to make this drill a bit more realistic and give you time to figure it out. Again, like, this isn't that realistic in the sense that you're on the floor longer than you would be anyway. Like, you'd normally hit the floor and fucking bounce straight back up, right? I don't want you to play guard. And I think if you try and play normal jiu-jitsu, if you're introduced to normal jiu-jitsu, like obviously half of you are quite new, you'd be more used to playing on your right leg down side, because that's kind of like everything that's normally shown in jiu-jitsu involves being right leg down. Like if you ever ask anyone to do anything with going half guard or side control, it's always on this horizon of things. So people are quite used to this. So the idea of wrestling up isn't that easy. As you just felt that, it felt weird trying to get up on this side and frame because it all felt weak. But when I've said it before, like it's like polishing a turd, is that you're trying to make something that's fucking awful work and it's still fucking awful. So I'm kind of glad that we haven't really spent much time doing this kind of stuff, because then you haven't got a habit of dropping onto this side. Like if you can, fucking just fall this way and get up. And that's the thing, like, you know, we've kind of made it a bit unrealistic because I asked you to play on the wrong side, like lie down in a way that you probably hopefully wouldn't do anyway. And people wouldn't be used to kind of forcing you on that side. And this is the thing is like, so when we talk about this idea of attacking the front leg, there's almost like a mutual agreement that we're always going to play on this side. Like if I can borrow Adam for this. So if he's if Adam's in guard, for example, like anything he's going to do is attack on my front leg, and so he's like when we normally play on that like normal horizon of jiu-jitsu with that side down, it's because the other person's coming with their right leg forwards. So that's why he's going to attack the right leg this way. Like if he wants to play De La Riva or any like reverse De La Riva or whatever, it's always on that front leg. But if I just do this, he's fucked. Like he has to switch sides because otherwise the jiu-jitsu just falling apart. So it's almost like there's a mutual agreement, like a handshake that we're going to play this way, right? And if one person just goes no, like the whole thing falls apart. You just have to change sides. Like if he just plays the other side as well, like, I feel kind of weird. Like try to pass this way. He's taking the initiative. He's rolled to his other side, and I'm like, that feels odd. So I feel like I have to change as well. It's a weird circumstance to find yourself in jiu-jitsu. So when you hit the floor in this next drill, take that initiative. Like you make the choice of right, we're actually going to play this side. And depending on what they want to do, they're going to have to adjust. If you've already got a plan on this side, fuck them. So what you're going to do is you're going to start from standing. Your partner's going to take you down. You're going to let your partner take you down. As soon as your ass hits the floor, you're going to get the fuck up. Like using all these ideas. So you might land on the wrong side, find your way back onto the correct side if you have to, but find a way of getting back to your feet and just not staying down. So focus on, again, do it slowly. Like don't fucking throw your partner to the floor and just dick him into the deck. Like take your time. Like figure out your hand fighting, reframing back up, getting behind them in some way, elbow fighting them, whatever you need to do. Just get yourself back to your feet in a stable position that they can't score a takedown on you. Does that make sense? Again, low resistance, building up resistance over time. So you're just going to stand there as a fucking tree. Your partner's going to fucking throw you into the floor, whatever way they want, trip you, single leg, double leg, whatever. As soon as you hit the floor, you can fight back and you're going to get the fuck up. And if you need to change sides or whatever, you do that. But then once you've done that, do certain circumstances. Say you got tripped, fell on your ass, I don't know, stupidity. And your partner's approaching you, and how are you going to get up now? Like, if he's playing on this side, like, cool, I'll have to switch then. Does that make sense? So find a way back to what suits you to get up. Have fun. So, as you probably noticed then, if you can get your framing in right, you can kind of decide as soon as you hit the floor which side you want to get up off. Because half the time they haven't like controlled you enough to keep you on one side. Might have, Knack, can I borrow? That knack hits me with everything. I want to keep him. I want to put me on the Orthodox side, like the regular side of jiu-jitsu, this horizon. If he takes me down in any way, like, do what you want. Like, it's still, like, he can't put me down on that side. So why am I falling on that side? Like, I know this side's my better wrestling side. So, like, I'll take my socks off to make it really fun. Like, take me down in any way that forces me into normal guard.
Oh, shit.
Onto the normal side of guard. Like, make me lie on that side. You can't do it. You can't make me roll over and pass my guard at the same time because I'm making him travel this direction. That's what I mean. Like, I can choose the side I want to play on. Now, if this doesn't feel like a good side for getting up, don't. Like, try again. Try and make me fall on the stupid side or regular human jiu-jitsu side. Even if he gets hold of my legs, he can't. Okay, right now I can't get up because he's got my bottom leg. But he can't pass because he's holding my fucking leg. So I've got this frame.
Yeah.
And he has to let go at some point to pass, which I'm going to get up. It's really hard for him to actually control me this way. It's only through my personal choice that I'm going the wrong side. You may end up there accidentally. Like, you may double leg me. I may fall down that side. But if he tries to pass, again, he can't stop me from just hip switching. It's really, really hard. So try it. Like, if you feel that you have one side you're better getting up from, like, force yourself on that side. Person on top, try and put them on the weak side, see if it's possible. It probably isn't. Okay? Not while you're trying to pass as well. But also it's a bit fake in here because we take down and we know the other person's going to get up. So we have a better hold down strategy. Normally in jiu-jitsu, they'll take you down and expect you to stay there and play guard. They're not normally expecting you to get the fuck up. They'll normally disconnect in some way. It's a completely different ball game. You guys aren't going to be used to it. But usually on a takedown, they then sit ready to play passing guard. They're not used to then having someone just bounce the fuck back up again. So you definitely have chance to choose which side you want to be on. But play that. Just force yourself on your wrestling side. You can definitely hip switch it. They're really going to have to try. And if they're not even aware that you're going to do that, they definitely aren't thinking about putting you on your weak side. Make sense? So focus on that idea of like having a good wrestling side and a good guard side, but we're focusing on the wrestling side for this. Off you go, last drill.